What's up, fuckers? I haven't done one of these in a while. You know, you get caught up, life, doing shit, doing some home repairs, some plumbing. It's always fun. Had a sink in my upstairs bathroom. My son said was leaking. It was a weird leak. You could turn it on just a little bit, no problem. Turn it on full blast, no problem. Put it kind of in the middle, and it would just kind of, water just kind of flows out weirdly. So replaced it, which is fun, you know, because half my back doesn't bend. So trying to wedge myself underneath the sink, you know, and get out fucking 40-year-old faucet nuts and replacing water lines and all that kind of shit. It's a lot of fun. Not really. And then I figured, well, since I'm already on a roll, replacing one faucet, might as well replace the one in the downstairs bathroom. I got two downstairs. I already replaced the one in my bathroom, the master bath. Just, you know, because it's fancier. Ooh, fancy. Not really. It's just it sticks up a little higher. You know, it's the kind of sort of the gooseneck, and sticks out into the bowl, a little sink bowl, a little further. Because I hate trying to wash my hands, and the water is only like an inch from the back of the fucking sink. So you're like smushing your hands up against the back of the fucking sink just to get, you know, wash and rinse your hands. I hate that. So I just got a faucet that it's a little higher, so I don't have to fucking bend as much, because I can't. And it sticks out a little further from the back, just because that's my personal preference. But the hallway bathroom, my son's bathroom, I guess, thing's old and crusted up inside, and you turn it on, and the water kind of shoots out at an angle. You can change the aerator all you want. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. So I was going to do that, right? And the faucet comes with the new like drain plug, a little main drain pipe just before the little U-bend at the bottom. So I figured, I'll go ahead and replace that too. This old one looks kind of crusty and gross. As I was undoing the U-bend, apparently the sink was so rusted out that it was the rust holding the fucking drain in place. Because as I had to really crank on the fucking the nut holding the U-bend in place, as I was, and it was pretty frozen, I had to put some of the rust penetrant WD-40, not the regular WD-40. It's made by, WD-40 brand. It's a rust penetrant. Regular WD-40 does pretty good, but this one's a little more specifically formulated for loosening heavily rusted weird shit. So I sprayed some of that in there, and as I was cranking on it, the whole fucking drain pipe, I hadn't even loosened the part that holds it to the sink, the whole fucking assembly tore out of the bottom of the sink. So I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I'm buying a new sink. I'd never replaced a sink before. I mean, I've done faucets and, the water lines, rebuilt toilets. It's not that hard. Maybe it is. I don't know. Most stuff I can look at and figure out, how it works and what goes where and that kind of shit, which has served me well over the years. And then, there's other things once it gets overly complicated, a little more challenging, and I will defer to an actual expert. Like an engine I mean, yeah, I could change out probably carburetor and cylinder head gaskets, shit like that. Um, but tearing the whole fucking motor apart, man, I'm gonna lose pieces. I'm gonna have to like take pictures as I take out each fucking nut and bolt, and maybe draw a little diagram as to where the fuck did I find this, and put it in its own bag. And I'm not that patient and meticulous to do it that way. So for that, I'll call somebody. Anyway, I'm sidetracked. Well, that's what. And we got Spooktober. Fuck, my son. Uh. Okay, I'm not because of my son. I love him. Love him to death. He can be a little shit sometimes. But, I can be a big shit sometimes. So it kind of runs in the family. Everyone can be a little shit sometimes. That's what makes people interesting. Anyway, he's into horror movies. Never really been my thing. I don't get spooked by him. I'm just was never really interested. Just not my thing. Same as I don't like, there's a lot of vegetables I don't like. Not really my thing. Doesn't mean I'm scared of fucking vegetables. Just not interested. I don't like the taste. But he's really into horror movies. Especially a lot of the old like 80s slashers like Halloween and Friday the 13th and the Child's Play. He's got a big ass fucking shelf that's fucking packed with fucking horror movies. So it's like side to side, completely packed, and then stacked on top of that, it's about halfway. I think he's got about 160, maybe more, fucking horror movies now. And he's still adding to the fucking collection. We just finished finding the last of the Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. Turns out there's like 8 of them. Can you believe that shit? There's fucking 8 of them. Some of them have been kind of, ones that you've heard, obscure ones that he's heard of, that have been kind of tough to come by. We just found Sleepaway Camp. Fucking weird. Not a horrible movie. Some of them are just god awful. Halloween 3. Season of the Witch. It's got nothing to do with the whole fucking Halloween franchise. Nothing with Michael Myers, other than the fact that in the early part of the film, the 2 people are walking down the street and they go past a movie theater, and up on the marquee it says Halloween. That's it. That's the only fucking reference to the rest of the whole fucking franchise. It's just some weird shit, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? But, so he's got a thing where every day in October, working up to Halloween, we watch at least, minimum, sometimes it's more, at least one horror movie every day. He makes a list, and we follow the list. And we can add to the list, but there's no swapping. Once the list is set, those are the movies going to be watched on those days. And it culminates on Halloween. We watched the newest Halloween. I think it was 2018, the latest one. So we work up. So he started with that movie and then went back through all the Halloweens. So we've got like 8 or 9 days of Halloween movies. Michael Myers leading up to the newest on Halloween. We're also watching Trick or Treat. That's Trick, then the quotes, and the letter R, and then Treat, which is actually a really good movie. That one I like. It's not so much a horror movie. Think of Creep Show. You know how you got a bunch of, like 4 or 5 different little kind of short stories, and they do. I don't know how many of you remember Creep Show. But take Creep Show and then film it like Pulp Fiction, where it kind of, the order sort of jumps around a little bit, and the more it goes, the more interconnected all the different stories. So like Creepshow, you get like 4 completely different stories. Here's this story, here's this story, here's this story, here's this story. Done. Short, kind of spooky. Okay. Trick or Treat. It's like, here's this story, here's this story, here's this story, which ties into the first story and ties in a little bit with the middle of the second story, and then the fourth story ties in with the middle of the first story and the beginning of the second story and kind of the end of the third story, and then the fifth story kind of ties in with a little bit with each. I mean, it's trippy the way they, kind of interconnect little parts of each story to little parts of the other stories. But it's really cool, and it's not some of those movies. This has ended up being all about fucking movies and shit and plumbing. I didn't even get to the fucking news. Anyway, so it's a good flick. And again, I'm not really into, horror movies aren't really my thing. A lot of them just seem stupid to me. You got these fucking invincible, immortal, just regular dudes. Now some, I gotta admit, some I actually liked. I liked The Nightmare on Elm Street. Because since it's, all takes place in a dream, yeah, anything can fucking happen, because anything can happen in a dream. So why couldn't Freddy walk up the side of a fucking building and have his, have an arm cut off, and then boom, it's back on, or it's 30 feet long, and because it got stretched out. Sure, it's in a fucking dream. Anything can happen. So that makes sense. But, like Friday the 13th, kid drowns when he's like 12. Now he's got a bag over his head. And he's out killing people. I mean, first, yeah, the original one, it was his mom was the killer. I'm not going to worry about spoiler alerts from a movie from the 80s. If you haven't seen it in the last 35 years, and I'm spoiling it for you, tough shit. It's been 35 years. Alright? Not worrying about spoilers. Anyway, so the original, it's his mom. He was going after the counselors in retaliation because I guess her little disabled freak show of a child drowned at camp 20 years ago, and now she's killing all the counselors because the ones who were supposed to be, watching were making out in the boat shed or something. I don't know. And yeah, you caught me drinking a soda. I'll have a soda every now and then. Difference is now I mostly drink ice water because I like it. But I was drinking like, 1 to 2 liters of fucking soda a day. This one's been in my fridge for, let's see, 2 grocery trips. Beginning of September. I'm just now getting around to drinking it. So, I'll get a soda, put it in my fridge in case I get a soda craving at some point. But it's not like I'm just drinking soda all the fucking time like I used to. I was a lot fatter when I was drinking soda all the fucking time. A lot of it. I'm still a little chubby. But it's an acceptable amount of chub. In other words, fucking just switching from soda to fucking water, I dropped like 80 pounds. 80 fucking pounds. That's a lot. That's a very, very large dog. That's my boxer that we used to have. He was a good dog. Before my fucking Cocker Spaniel. 4 of her. Anyway. I fucking lost track of what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, the fucking unrealistic. So in the slasher movies, the kid's been dead, but now he's back. And he's a grown-up. He grew. He didn't just stay as a fucking, 12-year-old angry spirit. Now he's a grown person. He's had an axe in his head. He's been killed before. And then he got struck by lightning, and that brought him back. And then they fucking wrapped a chain with a giant rock around his neck and dropped him to the bottom of the lake, and then for some reason in the lake a yacht comes by and drops anchors, which hits an underwater power cable. Which when they run power cables underwater, which I don't know, but they have, it's armored cable. So just a boat anchor drifting past it isn't gonna fucking make it arc and spark. And if it arcs and sparks that much underwater, it's gonna kill all the fucking fish. But and then that brings Jason back to life. Everything fucking brings him back to life, and he can't be killed. And that just seems stupid to me. So I don't like it. And plus, they all fucking they shuffle along so slowly that you get in a car and you fucking drive away. You even run. I can fucking outrun these fuckers. They move in the film, and only one of my legs works right. I don't have calf muscle in my left leg because of the severed nerve root with the back injury. So I got nerve damage. Don't feel a whole lot below the left knee, and no calf muscle, so I can't push off. When you're kind of you're pushing off, I can't lift my heel enough to get a fucking piece of paper underneath it. No calf muscle, left leg. It's like walking around with a ski boot, wearing one ski boot your entire life. Because your foot can't bend, you can't really push off with your calf muscle. You just have to kind of go forward and basically trying not to fall your entire time you're walking in ski boots. And even I can outrun these fucks. But somehow they catch up to you. People can be sprinting. The girl always falls down, of course. And if she falls down, she doesn't scramble right the fuck back up like you would if you were like running somewhere or away from something. No, they trip and then they lay there for a minute and then they roll over and they look and the guy's right the fuck there, even though they've been sprinting for 5 minutes against someone who's just been walking slowly. Like an old person with a walker, they're just, or Frankenstein, they're just gonna step. None of them are fucking sprinting, but somehow they just teleport to wherever the fuck you're at. So that always irritates me. But the boy likes it. I try to be a good parent and I support him in his endeavors. I don't want to dampen his spirit or hold him back from the things that he enjoys. So we watch a lot of fucking horror movies. Because that's good parenting. They're just movies. They're not, he's a well-adjusted kid. If he was a little, nuts in the head, I'd be a little more careful as to what the kind of things that I allowed him to see. And I didn't let him watch them when he was, 8 or 10. But, shit, he's 15. I remember being 15. I was fucking, 15. I was running around the woods with a knife, fucking full camouflage, face paint and everything. Just having fun, cutting down trees with a fucking combat knife and shit like that. But I don't know. I wasn't like out hunting down people or animal or anything. I was just fucking wandering around in the woods, just enjoying being in the woods. And I ended up in the military, getting paid to do that shit. So it worked out. I don't know, maybe he'll end up being like a horror movie critic or something. I don't know. So whatever he shows interest in, I try and encourage and support. I try and push him towards other things too. But I don't know. I got a lot of knowledge about a lot of things that I try to impart to my son, pass that knowledge on. He doesn't give a shit. He has no interest in it. The majority of the things that I know. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. You know, it's a little disappointing. I'm not saying I'm disappointed in my son. Don't take it that way. He's not certainly not a disappointment to me. But it's disappointing not to have someone who's enthusiastic about receiving the vast amounts of knowledge that I have on multiple topics. You know, but like I said, I support him in the stuff that he is interested in. And I remind him from time to time, hey, I know, if you want to actually know more about that particular thing, I know a lot about that. Or hey, if you want to know if somebody actually came at you like that, because that attack was stupid, and the guy that just stood there and let it happen was more stupid. And here's what he could have done, not only to not have the axe in his forehead, but to turn it around and cut the other guy's fucking head off and done. And he's like, Dad, it's just a movie. I'm like, yeah, but there's a teachable moment. God damn it. Don't you want to know how to kill somebody with random household objects? I mean, who wouldn't want to know that? That's, trying to ingrain into them, hey man, everything. Damn near everything within arm, you walk into a room, pick something out, and I can show you how to use it as a weapon. That sounded a little crazy. But I'm not saying that you have to. No, it's good to know how to defend yourself. In worst case scenarios. So, yeah, play the what if game. Well, what if some fucking wackadoodles standing at the fucking back door, which is a slider. Those aren't known for being super secure. With a crowbar, trying to fucking wedge his way in. What do you do? Well, the kitchen's close by. It's full of big knives. There's a shotgun under the couch. There might be a shotgun under the couch. Mostly because I was, I had just finished cleaning it and the doorbell rang, and so I was kind of, bloop, shove it under the edge of the couch in case I had company coming over that I had forgotten about, which I usually do. I don't have that many people that come over, but it could happen. And shotguns on coffee tables tend to freak some people out, so you just kind of tuck it underneath the front of the couch, and then after you talk to whoever's at the door and you go on about your day, you might forget about it for a day or two until you're like, the fuck did I put that shotgun? It's not in the gun safe. Where the hell did I have it? I was on the... Oh, yeah. Under the couch. All right. I know where it is. So you go, you retrieve it from under the couch, and then you put it back in the gun safe. It's just where I usually keep most of my guns. Nah, I'm kidding. They're in the... I'm not kidding about keeping them in the safe. I'm kidding about not keeping them in the safe. Because, of course, I keep my guns in the gun safe. That's what it's for. Unless I'm using it at the time, or cleaning it, or working on it. I am a gunsmith. I do that kind of thing. So, there's an easy solution right there. You throw the remote at him as he comes in. Yeah, it's not really going to hurt him, but, people tend to reflexively kind of like, sort of like, oh, what the fuck? Or at least, it stops their forward momentum because, You just threw some at their face. And unless they're absolutely fucking bonkers, they're going to tend to react. Or if they're like highly fucking trained and used to having, you know, Kevlar fucking helmet and face shield on, that they know it's going to fucking just bounce the fuck off. Natural human reaction is to, you know, try and protect the face. So you throw something at their face, you butt yourself a second or two, grab the next thing to fucking throw at their face. And then the next thing. Maybe the next thing is a little heavier, like a fucking frying pan. Or the fucking, you know, your teapot that's sitting on the fucking stove. Throw that shit at them. You know, the water in it's going to make it a little bit heavier. And you bought yourself some time to actually get an offensive weapon. You can grab the fucking, you know, grab the fucking phone. If you have a landline, now you fucking smack them with a fucking frying pan and a kettle full of water. You can use that phone cord to choke the fuck out of them. You know, that's an option. Go for the groin. Piston kick to the groin. That's not like a soccer kick. That's where you raise your knee up and then you're kicking, you know, straight out in front of you, like you're trying to kick a door, or you're trying to smush a spider on the wall with your foot. Right? You don't soccer kick at it. You lift your foot up and you push it straight. You do that while pushing off with your fucking back leg and driving your whole fucking body weight through the kick. Even if you fucking miss the groin, hit the thigh, hit a little bit lower right at the fucking knee, your whole body weight on their fucking kneecap, it's gonna make that shit fucking, can make it bend backwards. Lots of things you can do. Man, this thing is wildly off topic. Started with fucking plumbing, went to movies, my son. Now we're into like some I guess self-defense stuff. But again, you know, so now you fucking, you snapped his knee, or you just kicked him in the balls after hitting him with a frying pan and a remote to slow him down. Now you can grab a fucking kitchen knife, cut his head off. I mean, you wouldn't, but you know, you could. I mean, shit, you could drop a 16-ton fucking weight on him like they do in Monty Python. If you have one handy, and you just fucking pull the rope, and you got it above your fucking back door. The minute they start trying to pry the door open, you just pull the rope, and it drops the 16-ton weight on them. Problem solved. Don't fuck up your deck. If you have a wood deck, a 16-ton weight crashing down on wood is probably going to fuck it up. So you might want to have, you know, like a 2-foot thick concrete pad under the 16-ton weight. Because then all you have to do is, you know, kind of lever that shit back up. Like you're going to use just a pulley. If you had enough pulleys, you could lift a 16-ton weight. I don't know that a rope and a fucking bow knot is going to hold a 16-ton weight. It does in Monty Python, though. Saw it on TV. Must be real, right? Anyway, I'm at almost 30 minutes, and I didn't talk about anything that I was planning on talking about. So I guess I'm going to have to make another one of these. Actually talk about news shit. All right, well, I guess I'll start on video number 2 for the day. I'll see you in a few minutes, fuckers.